What's up? Welcome back. I'm John Stockenbach, MovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and I just learned how to live with Norman Mailer. um, which could also, I feel like when you listen to his family describe Norman, it could also just be how do you live with Norman Mailer? Because they're also sort of reflecting on having grown up or this experience of I didn't know much about Norman Mailer going into this. Like I knew who he was, like I knew his name, I knew him as an author, um, and I didn't know the rest of it though. Like I feel like nobody's ever sat down and I've never had like a Norman Mailer conversation before, so this was an interesting look at who Mailer was, his impact, his thoughts. There are plenty of clips of him talking. Man's deceased, so he's not in his. I mean, he's in his own movie, but not in his own movie, if that makes any sense. It's a documentary that doesn't have audio description, but it is a lot of talking head stuff. It's a lot of people just talking to the camera about Norman, about his impact, about his life, other family members, giving you context on how he grew up, his marriages. I think he had like 6 wives and a bunch of kids. Um, and he was in jail for a while. Pulitzer Prize winning author, very complicated, complex person with a lot of different ideas, and even his effect on cinema and his odd sense of humor, just sort of offbeat. They talk about sort of like a deathbed moment, and they think that he's about to give him sort of a spoiler, I guess. But when you get to the end about how just because they're so used to him like dropping knowledge all the time, like his kids were around him, and he just draws these like two circles, like that's his way of communicating. And they're like, "What does this mean?" And it takes them a while. And they're like, "Oh, is that a toilet seat?" I love when everybody thinks you're so brilliant that you're like, "What is this? It's a circle within a circle. What could this be? What does he mean? What great wisdom has he imparted?" Oh, he needs to use the bathroom. Okay, so yeah, it's fine. This is a fine documentary. Um, I'd like to have some audio description on it just to have context, and largely because with talking head documentaries, even if nothing else, we get like who's talking and why they're important to the documentary. So a lot of these people are not famous, so I had a hard time following who was talking who and being like, is that his son? Is that like, is this like, which one is this? Because these are not voices I'm familiar with. Sometimes when it's a whole bunch of celebrities talking, there are voices that I can follow, because I'm like, oh, well, that's definitely so and so. I recognize that voice anywhere. That's Al Pacino, got him, like. But when it's just like a bunch of family members, I'm like, I don't even know, man. And then you mix it in, and you have people coming in who are not family, who are friends, or who are just like commentators who just studied Norman Mailer, just other sort of knowledgeable folk. When you put all of them together, it just gets kind of messy. So I would still argue this film would be better with audio description. But I got learned. Uh, I learned some stuff. This does feel pretty safe documentary. But I think I could say the same about Remembering Gene Wilder, which I felt was a pretty safe documentary too. Um, so I've seen some stronger ones. We're in content creation phase where we're just pumping out. If you were famous at any point in time, we're gonna make a documentary about you. We are gonna get it out there. We have streaming services and they need content. You're gonna get a docu series or a documentary. Something's gonna happen for you. So um, yeah, I'll give How Do You Live with Norman and with Norman Mailer, but is that even the title? How to Live with Norman? How to Live with Norman Mailer? Um, I give it a floating grade of a B plus. It could go up to an A minus or down to a B. Because it doesn't have audio description, so I don't have like a full 100% understanding of everything in the film. And but my official grade would be unwatchable due to lack of audio description. So that's it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the other side.